Hey, good morning, fifth graders. Just doing a directions video for today. Instead of recording a live lesson, this one's just a little bit easier and a little bit faster because I don't have a ton to say for today. Hopefully at this point, you are starting to experiment. You are starting to do your project, whether it's first building something, then testing it, or just getting right into the testing. That's hopefully where you are at today. So just as a reminder, on Google Classroom, of course, is where you can find all of your things for class. So Monday 1-4, this is where we have that project introduction. This is a nice one to go back to because we have your timeline of tasks on there. So I'm like, okay, as a fifth grader, today's Thursday, so I should be conducting my experiment. I should be doing multiple trials and using data, collecting data using scientific tools. Okay, today's kind of a check-in if problems arise kind of day. So first thing I want you to do, if you are not yet done with this, most of you are done with it and did a nice job on it. I've graded it and returned it for most of you at this point, is your project plan proposal. Now, if you are not done with this, this really needs to get done, like today, like yesterday actually, but fine. I also go in and I comment and I give some feedback on things. You don't have to resubmit, just apply that feedback to your Google Slides when you go to do those. Now, at this point, then you should be testing, you should be experimenting, you should be doing. Now, while you are doing those things, please, please, please make sure that you are recording your data in your notebook. A lot of people are forgetting that step, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what my results were. So you should be making a table in your notebook, one that kind of looks like this. You have your data titled along the top here, and then you have your 3 different trials, because remember, we should be doing 3 different trials with each. And then whatever your independent variable is listed down the side. So this is someone who's testing different brands of shoes. So they would test one trial with Nike, second trial with Nike, third trial with Nike. Then they would try on their Adidas and do 3 trials there, and then do their Pumas and do 3 trials there. Now this, of course, is going to change depending on what you're testing. If you are testing something like different types of egg contraptions, you're going to have your different methods of protecting the egg here. If you're doing different flavor, how long they last, your different flavors will be listed here. Whatever your independent variable is, whatever you're changing is going to go along the side here. Okay, so please make sure you have that table. Now with that table, you are then going to include that table into your choice experiment slides. Now remember, your choice experiment slides are under your Google Slides experiment. Okay, most of you have already even started on this a little bit too, which is great. So remember, you can do your first 7 slides without even doing your experiment. So if you are someone who is done with your proposal, but they don't have whatever you need to experiment with, you can start on your Google Slides. Your question, your background knowledge, your hypothesis, your procedure, your variables, and your materials are all things that you already know before you even experiment. Now, before I get into making a table on Google Slides, I do want to remind you about your procedure slide. This is some feedback I gave to a lot of you guys on your project proposals that this was not very detailed. Your step 4 was pretty like, I set up the experiment and do it. That's not very detailed. Remember, in science, we need to be as detailed as possible. That way, if someone were to come along and try your project, they should be able to do it the exact same way you did it. So when you go to type your procedure page, you can delete all of the things that I have here. These are just some reminders, but then you can keep the steps too if you like those. And then you would say, step 1, first I got my materials together. Step 2, then I did this. Step 3, then I did this. Step 4, then I did this for this long and this many trials. Be very, 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 very specific so that even if someone like Miss Mateka, who might not be very good at science, can read this and copy it exactly. So please make sure you're very, very detailed. You can even turn it into 2 slides if it's going to be too many words. Now, when you are done collecting your data, you are going to need a table and a graph for your project. Don't worry, I will show you how to do a graph tomorrow. That's Friday's assignment, is to make your graph. So again, you can do 2 separate slides for this one if you like. Make sure it's nice and easy to read. So if you are wanting to put your graph on this page, you can simply click this plus button to add a new slide. Then you can title it by saying my data table. Now the way that you add a data table is that you go to insert right up here, and then you go to table, and here you can highlight however many boxes you are going to need for your table. So for me in my Nike trial, I'm going to need to count up my boxes along the top and count up my boxes along the side to see how many I need. I can always alter it afterwards, but just as a heads up, you can go 1, 2, 3. So I need 4 across and 4 down. So a 4 by 4. There we go. So now I've got my table set up. You can, when you have the 4 arrows like this, you can click and drag it around. You can remove a text box by clicking on it, pressing backspace. Now, I don't want my table here. I kind of want it up a little bit, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to drag it and different size it by using the arrows like this. There, that looks a little bit better. Now, I also don't like how light the lines are. Those are kind of hard for me and my old people eyes to read. So what you can do is you can right click to open up this this thing where it tells you all your different options, right? So what you can do is you can go to, so again, by right clicking, this is where you can go to insert rows or delete rows if you accidentally did too many. Now, if I want to change the lines, I can highlight my table. I can change the color of my lines. Maybe I want to do red or maroon for the Gophers. But I also want to make them a little thicker. I can click this line here, go to like 2 point or 3 point. Just make sure it's nice and easy to read. Then you can just simply click in each text box and type your results. Trial 1, trial 2, trial 3. All right, so that is how you make a table on Google Slides. Now, if you have questions, there's also tons and tons and tons of YouTube videos on how to do those kinds of things. So again, rewatch the video a little slower if you need it again. So again, insert, table, select how many squares you need, and then you can change it by clicking on these 2 buttons up here. All right, I think that is just about it. So again, just in summary today, finishing your project proposal if you haven't. You're kind of late on that one, so make sure you get it done. 2, you should be doing. You should be doing your experiment. You should be conducting it. You should be recording your data in your notebook. Step 3, if you get done, then you can do your data table. You can do your Google Slides. And again, if you cannot do your project yet, maybe you're doing it on the weekend, you can do as many Google Slides as you can. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will show you how to graph tomorrow. Bye.